kaboom, or maybe like pow, kapow, the final gun. Here we are. We got to let it breathe just for a second. Hang tight, y'all. Really, really stoked to talk about this one. And we are good. Welcome in, everybody. It's the first official gut reaction episode of the Mile High Huddle podcast of the 2025 season, that is. I'm your host, Chad Jensen. With me, my fellow football priest. You know him, you love him, Zack Kelberman. Zack wasn't always pretty, as they might say, but the Broncos got it done, defeating the Tennessee Titans by 8 points. Your gut reaction, brother?
Ugly win, but a win's a win. The offense didn't leave much to be inspired, Chad. Might have been Sean Payton's worst afternoon as Broncos head coach. Bo Nix looked like a rookie for the most part in this game. The running game got going in the second half, and the defense carried like they have the last decade. So I'm happy they won, but a lot to work on going forward.
Yeah, Bo just never quite looked comfortable. He just looked like he was pressing just a little bit still. I got this same kind of vibe from him. Again, you don't want to read too much into preseason action, but I kind of got the same vibe from him in this game that I did in the first team snaps that we saw in August, which is just pressing. And I don't know if it's some of the inflated expectations, Sean Payton calling him a future superstar, top 4 or 5. I don't know what it is, but he didn't look comfortable today. He had a few moments, but honestly, Zack, especially in the first half, I got to tell you, Bo Nix's supporting cast was kind of letting him down. Too many drops. O-line couldn't block, whether it was pass protection or run blocking. But I was stoked to see that in the second half when they needed to be able to do it, Zack, you saw RJ Harvey bust off a 50-yarder. You saw J.K. Dobbins punch it in from 19 yards out. They got the ground game going, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I was happy to see RJ break off that big gainer because it seemed like that's when the shackles started to finally dissolve from the Broncos' collective ankles a little bit. I mean, I don't know what that last fourth down pass was at the end of the game, Chad. That moon ball by Bo Nix, totally confusing. So the offense, like I said, have a lot to work on. And if it wasn't for the defense, despite playing the Titans, a rookie quarterback being at home, they might have lost this game. It was ugly.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go for a second there. David Youngkin, thank you for being a great member and a Super Chat superstar, brother. Appreciate you. He says, bright spots, the defense. Will Lutz, not so much to say about the offense, but bad. I don't know if I'd say it was bad. It was too inconsistent. And I think a big part of that, Zack, is they didn't stay balanced early on. Sean Payton kind of woke up a little bit. Like the second he went into halftime, came out of it going, okay, we got to balance this thing. It was quite clearly a tale of two halves, not to be too cliche in terms of the philosophy. I mean, it was pass, 70% in the first half. They balanced things out considerably in the second. And even though Bo did throw that other pick, he did look a lot more comfortable in the second half, but still not quite what you wanted to see.
Definitely not.
William Shaw, brother, good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for being a member. 5280, the home crowd rocked it. Defense balled out, that I'll say for sure. 1-0. I'm not sorry. Hashtag win ugly. Side judges need glasses. No backsies. On to Indy. Yeah, Indy looks tough, man. I watched that whole game today. Indy could be something, but that's a conversation for later in this coming week. Soldier, what's up? Adventure Soldier in the house. Thank you for the super chat, big dog. Wasn't pretty on the offensive side of the ball? No. A win's a win, though, and the Denver defense came to play today. Let's go Broncos. I mean, the most exciting thing about today, guys, is the fact that the Broncos snapped the streak for Sean Payton. You know, they hadn't won a season opener. What was it, Zach? 2021 under Fangio was the last season opener victory, I want to say. Now Sean Payton's got that monkey off his back. He wanted to start faster in the regular season, and by that definition, he defined it earlier, last week during practice. Win. I want to win the first game, and they did that.
Yeah, thank you, Adventure. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. The Broncos did win by, a considerable margin considering how close the game was in the first half. And the defense looks every bit as elite as we thought they were. Nik Bonitto earned his paycheck, and they came to play, and they were clutch when they needed them to be.
Ooh, D-Crom, he's doom and gloom. Speaking of such, Broncos will lose their next 4 games. Book it. Ooh. All right, pal, if you say so. But, hey, keep your chin up. Let's not overreact. I know, like, even if you go around and look at the MHH, the Mile High Roundtable picks, there are a lot of guys picking in the 30s, 30, Broncos 30, Titans, whatever, 12, Titans 9, whatever it may be. And the offense had its opportunities, oddly enough, like even at the end there where Sean Payton kind of inexplicably goes, we're not going to punt here and give the rookie the longest possible field. I'm so confident in my defense. We're going to go for it on 4th and 8, nursing an 8-point lead. If the Broncos block that better and Bo Nix gets even like 4 or 5 synapses, or we'll say a few milliseconds longer to actually plant and deliver, he's got an over-the-top touchdown to Marvin Mims. We're talking about a 28 to 12 victory, etc. But a lot of missed opportunities today, Zach. And I'll grab Ted jumping in. Ted, bro, great to see you. Thank you, pal. He says, wow, wasn't comfortable, wasn't pretty at all. What was Sean thinking on that 4th down? He wanted to it's called stat padding. He wanted to bump Bo's stats up a little bit. But 1-0 is 1-0, whether it's 20 to 12 or 40 to 12. We were only 1 point off of my 20 to 13 guess. Hashtag MHH for life. Let's Bo Broncos. Yeah, Zach, they won the game. And they basically covered the spread. I mean, it was the biggest spread in the NFL this week, 8.5 points. They beat them by 8 points.
Yeah, I mean, same thing we've been saying for months. A win's a win. Doesn't matter if it's by 1 or 100. I just think this is a recurring thing with Sean Payton, Chad, where he tends to outsmart himself. He tends to think that he knows better than everyone else on the field, on the sidelines, and sometimes he doesn't, and he makes calls that leave you scratching your head. He has to get better first and foremost after this game going forward.
Diamond Rattler in the hizzy with a super chat, one of our valuable members and an OG superstar, saying, here comes the boom. Ready or not. Some POD, payable on death. Remember that band? I remember when they were like just like a gnarly Christcore band. This is what they call it, like Christian hardcore, Christ hardcore, Christian hardcore, Christcore. And then they became a massive rock band with boom, ready or not, etc. Diamond, dude, great to see you, pal. Thank you. I still, as you can see, I still have this wonderful medallion necklace this is beads. I show you guys, but we got to talk about the game. We'll do it another time. But Diamond, you're a prince. Thank you, my brother. Great to see you. Okay. I see. Okay. We talked David. We talked William. We got Papa Bear in the house. What's going on, brother? Talk about legend in this community. Great to see you. Valued member. Outstanding defensive performance. David says 13-4 plus. God bless the USA. Buckham times 3. MHH for life. Broncos for life. Let's go, Bo. David is in a good mood. Zach is the hashtag game is strong. He's feeling good. And you should, guys. The Broncos are 1-0. You're supposed to, they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat. Easy now.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. And the Broncos can still reach that record, Chad. I'm not going to completely blow smoke, though. They're not going to reach 13-4 if they play every game like they played on offense today, especially with games against Cincinnati, Los Angeles, Kansas City. It's tough.
Taylor Christensen, what's up, dude? Great to see you. Another superstar and member. A win is a win. This is the philosophical outlook, I think, that is appropriate here. Defense looks great. Offense and the special teams average. Hey, look, I mean, Trent Sherfield, when he gets his mind right on the blocking technique thing, I mean, we're reading it in the book in Broncos Book Club, the Elway years. We're about halfway through it for members on YouTube. And there's this part, Zach, where Rod Smith talks about blocking and how that's basically how he got the starting job back in whatever it was, 96. He was not only a willing blocker, but became a very proficient blocker, he and Eddie Mack. And he said the key to being a blocking period, whether you're a wide receiver or any other position, is will. And Trent Sherfield has the will, is what I'm getting at here, y'all. They just got to clean up a little bit of that technique and that blocking on the edges and the stuff he's doing there. It's going to spring some stuff. Lady D, what's going on? Great to see you. Top Rope Super Chat. Mount Rushmore superstar in the house. She says, this game was bad, ugly, but a win is a win. Exactly. What was wrong with Bo today? He didn't look, in my opinion, like he wanted to play. The defense was clutch. Bonitto and then Harvey's great run is the only reason we won. Hashtag MHH for life. Yeah, what would be your answer? Thank you, Lady D. Zach, what would be your answer to the issue with Bo today?
I think you said it. I think he was playing a little tight. I don't know if they had a script game plan where they wanted to come out and throw the ball a ton and really exert their will and stat pad like you were talking about on the Titans defense. I don't know if they came in there thinking they can just give half effort and walk all over Tennessee. They played down to the level of competition, but we did see that in the preseason. I'm not going to panic just yet, but they have to come out starting faster and not so much of this horizontal football, Chad. I want to see more aggressive play calling, but how about running the football, staying with that and being consistent?
Honestly, too, again, Bo was not getting a lot of help in the first half. A lot of drops. They could not run the ball. And granted, Sean Payton wasn't really trying to, but couldn't run the ball. Besides Sutton, he had a little help from Franklin in the first half. But besides Sutton, it was kind of the Bo show. No one else was chipping in, the other 11 guys. That changed in the second half. And a big part of that, Zach, was Sean Payton's philosophical, his epiphany going, okay, I guess, I got these two running backs in the offseason. I guess I better use these guys. RJ rips off that 50-yard run that Lady D's talking about here, and that kind of got things, okay, here we go, and polished off by JK. I liked that, Zach, that those are the two guys that basically start on that second touchdown drive.
But remember when Sean had to run the ball on his play sheet last season, Chad, and he still didn't run the ball that game? I don't know what it's going to take for him to get it through his head. The best offense he can give Bo Nix is a running game and the support that way. Hopefully he'll learn that in Indy.
Hey, shout out, by the way, to Luke Patterson. His keys to victory on the subject of the run game referenced that exact same thing you just brought up, remembering the run it with 3 exclamation marks at the end in Sharpie on his play sheet. Remember that he did before it was too late. Let's not throw him completely under the bus. Sean Payton pulled his head out. It made the difference in the second half. Broncos won the game. You wanted a second half adjustments? You got them. Riptide, what's going on, brother? Great to see you. Thank you for the generous super chat. He says, not impressed with Bo's play or Sean's play calling, with our QB throwing 2 picks, one being Sutton's fault. Not concerned. Should have punted. Vance Joseph is our best coach. We will get better. It's okay. I mean, look, Broncos fans, there was so much hype. I mean, honestly, every time the last 5-6 articles Eric wrote, all previewing the game, Zach, that I copy edited, within the first 2 sentences was the phrase one way or another that there's been a lot of hype surrounding the Denver Broncos. And you're seeing that in terms of the expectation was so high. I mean, it was almost like, as we're seeing in the chat, it's like fans were expecting 45-3 or something today. But this is still very much a young team. I'm not going to say in utero, in chrysalis, same thing. They're still kind of growing into what they are, but they're so talented. They are led by good coaching. I'm not worried about it. I don't take the decrom. They're going to lose the next 4. I think this is also, Zach, frankly, a little bit of a wake-up call for them, and really good, might I add, and I'm serving it back to you, for them to kind of finally get their wiggles out. They got through an entire game. They won the game, even though they didn't play their best. That's typically the mark of a quality team.
They're not going to lose the next 4 games. I vehemently disagree with that premise, Chad. But to say before the season, like weeks before that, the Broncos have a Super Bowl caliber team and Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback the next couple years, that was coming from Sean Payton. Then you come out in week 1 with that expectation already set. You play the Titans at home and you struggle to beat them for a majority of the game. So can they be as good as they say they are? And we think they are, yes. But again, defense, I kind of agree here. I've never been the biggest VJ fan. Riptide knows that. A lot of people know that. I was thinking that today. Right now, for today's game, today, he was the Broncos' best coach. At least they have one.
Glad to see Ian Proudzenio becoming a member today. Thank you, brother. Hey, still loving that profile pic. Yeah, dude. Bridge the Gap show in Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Oh, my goodness gracious. We have the Duchess from the top rope, like almost laying a slobber knocker, rendering me speechless. Thank you, Michaela. We love you. Appreciate you so much. Mount Rushmore. I mean, one of the first 2 faces etched on the MHH Superstar Mount Rushmore. Love you so much. She wants to know, once again, echoing the Lady D, what's wrong with Bo? Sloppy game. Win's a win, but the offense was bad. Honestly, I got to tell you, Michaela, that I really think it's just a case of getting the wiggles out, getting the rust, letting the rust fall off. It fell off today, Zach, in chunks, quite clearly. Bo Nix, for what it's worth, the way he finished the day, he went 25 of 40, 176, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, quarterback rating of 60. He ran it 8 times, but only for 18 yards. The other thing you got to keep in mind here, guys, is Zach and I went through the head-to-head on Thursday at the end of the show as kind of an afterthought because it's all based off of last year's metrics because it's a week 1 head-to-head. And we talked about it then. The big kind of calling card for the Titans is that defensive line and the physical nature with which they play. Zach, they would not let – I mean, I'm surprised the Broncos managed to squirt out that 50-yarder. That's a credit to RJ, that 19 yards touchdown, Dobbins. I mean, that's a testament to just wearing them down. But you saw it today, guys. That defensive line, in fact, that Titans defense is no joke.
No, they get paid to play too. Thank you so much, Michaela, as always. He was sloppy for sure. There's no two ways about that. But players have sloppy games. The Lions look like crap today, Chad, against the Packers. I mean, it happens. And that's the Lions with Super Bowl expectations, not just hopes like the Broncos. Bo is going to have bad games. The Broncos are going to look hit or miss on offense. Fortunately, though, Michaela, they have this elite defense and the coaching there with VJ, I shall say, to carry them when the times are tough on the other sside of the ball. Thank you.
I liked it when the kind of pressures that VJ threw at the rookie and the timing of it. VJ, credit to him. Yeah. I mean, I've always felt like VJ since really the second half of his first year back that he doesn't get quite the love that he deserves, but we're starting to see it more and more. People are, I think, realizing it, that he's good at what he does, and he's got a loaded defense. So it makes it a lot easier, Zach, for him to do what he does or be good at what he does. Casey Nickel, what's up, bro? Yeah, exactly. A win is a win, but, Bo, what the hell? Defense is number 1. Establish the run sooner. And that moon ball was horrible. Sutton was wide open. I missed whether Sutton was open on that because I was kind of doing a couple things trying to get the stream set up and whatnot. But really on that moon ball, dude, if we're talking about that 4th down at the end, if Bo Nix, Zach, gets even a half second more of protection from his guys up front, that is a moon ball that connects. Marvin Mims outran his guy. He was wide open over the top. It's a touchdown. And we're talking about a 20, whatever. What was the final score? We're talking about 27-12 victory or whatever. So I don't know. Bo just seemed like, Zach, he was just pressing a little. I think it's nerves. I think it's a little bit of the intangible stuff, and he'll get through it.
Yeah, and if they can run the ball, Chad, and play top-notch, elite, championship-caliber defense, then they can hide Bo Nix's lesser games.
Jordan, great to see you. Thank you for the super chat. One of the coolest names in the chat, Jordan Mall, like a dark lord of the Sith in the house, dude. Needed this win after Raiders and Chargers won. Exactly. Broncos took care of business. And again, a mark typically of a quality team is they win ugly. You know, even if they don't play that well in a given game, they still find a way to come out on top. You know, when I did that halftime stream, Zach, people were going, oh man, I hope Sean Payton can make some halftime adjustments here. Like, what do you think? He did, right? He did. And Bo had that pick in the second half. Otherwise, it's still not perfect in the second half offensively, but they did look significantly more in control and in command. And it's no coincidence, Zach, that they also happened to stay more committed to the ground game, and they benefited from it.
I mean, Lord, how many close games did Mahomes win against inferior teams, or Brady back in the day against inferior teams? And they're champion when they do it, Chad, of always finding the way to win and having this winning personality and trait. And when Bo Nix and the Broncos do it, they're eking by a bad team. A win is a win is a win. That's the prevailing takeaway from today. The Broncos are 1-0, not 0-1, and that looks a lot better.
And look, Broncos country has very high standards and very high expectations, and we're never going to change in that respect, and nor should we, okay? I don't expect any of you to change on that. But, keep it in mind. What Zach just said is bottom line truth. Camden, what's up, Broncos country? Glad we got the win, but if Cam Ward had receivers who could catch, then the outcome of the game might be a different story.
But
maybe. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we all would have a Merry Christmas, right, Camden? Bottom line is that didn't happen. And perhaps the Broncos defense is to credit for that. Like maybe they were in the head of those receivers. Like not everything is measured on the actual result. Like There are little wars and battles that are fought throughout the game that resolve and take shape at the very end. And that could have been a case of receivers being freaking trucked around a little bit and shut down to where they were tight at the end. They were thinking they were in their own hands. We don't know, but let's not overthink it here. Cody Dubb, a member. And by the way, Camden, I invite you, my brother, become a member. We want you at MHH YouTube. Cody Dubb, week 1 and 100 plus in rushing. That's good to see. Yeah, let's recap that real quick, Zach. As a team, the Broncos finished with 317 total yards, rushing 151. That's definitely encouraging. So if they can just be more efficient passing wise and avoid those turnovers with that kind of a ground production and this defense, Zach, that's a recipe for success.
Well, speaking of the running game and going back to what Camden said, Chad, if RJ Harvey didn't get caught from behind, it would have been a blowout. If Marvin Mims, they completed on that long pass like you were talking about, it would have been a blowout. I don't understand pulling the hypotheticals and the theoreticals about a win. They still managed to pull it out in the end, and the Eagles were very much a second-half team in 2024. They won the Super Bowl. They don't always have to start strong. It's how they finish. And like you're saying, Cody, the running game and taking the pressure off of Bo Nix is the best way to do that.
Again, guys, I'm just stoked they won. They got a win in week 1 for the first time in the Sean Payton era. I'm stoked about that. James E., good to see you, my brother, a valued member of the MHH YouTube community and family. Ugly, my priest brothers. Yes, so good to win with 4 turnovers. We love a win. Big time, need to run more. Yeah, that second half should have been, I mean, Sean Payton at least got the epiphany. He made his second half adjustments, Zach, but that needs to be more part of the tapestry moving forward. I mean, Sean Payton has been complimented for his first 15 and how he schemes up that script of the first 15 to 20 plays of a game. You better work in more of these talented running backs that obviously have a lot more to give than you allowed them to give in the first half anyway.
Yeah, thanks, James. And I think what Chase is saying in the comments is exactly how I feel. He said, I'm definitely glad about a win, but there's a lot that I found inexcusable today. That's the same boat I'm in, and both things can be true, Chase. And thank you for bringing that up, because we are happy the Broncos are 1-0, and good teams find a way to win in bad games. But Bo Nix shouldn't have looked like that. Sean Payton's coaching shouldn't have looked like that. It has to get a lot better going forward.
And I think it will. But guys, really quick, doesn't it feel good? Football is actually back. The Broncos, one game under their belt, they're undefeated. It's a win, guys. Celebrate that. Enjoy your week. And while you're at it, do so with Underdog Fantasy. It is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Bank that. Playing on Underdog, really easy. You just pick whether it's Bo Nix or any player in the NFL, your favorite players. You just pick whether they're going to go higher or lower on a given stat, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more.
That's right. Get your picks right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. So if you think you've got a beat on what Bo Nix's or any Broncos player stats are going to be in week 2, download Underdog and win some money.
So much fun, guys, playing Underdog and the opportunity to actually win money while you're watching football. I mean, it's a touchdown. Let's go. Guys, right now, download the Underdog app, sign up with our promo code MHuddle to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MHuddle. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog, and you could be next. Underdog, make picks, win money.
To be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
All right, guys, back to the chat. I know there's a lot on your mind, and we're going to keep breaking it down. Lady D jumping in again, and
Thank you, Deanna.
I concur with this. Thank you, Deanna. Can't wait to see you next month. We're that close now. We can say next month. Pretty soon we'll be able to say next week or, tomorrow, whatever. It'll be here quick. She says the Broncos need to run the ball. The O-line has to improve. Definitely sloppy. Glad we won, but given all the hype, I feel let down. Please run the ball. Glad we won, but geez, MHH for life. Exactly. Zach, lots of hype, and everyone needs to kind of keep that in mind as you reckon with your disappointment in the face of victory is, well, okay, were my expectations maybe a little inflated? Maybe I need to bring them in check. This is still a team that's going to challenge for the playoffs, guys. Nothing has changed in that respect, but looking at them as a Super Bowl contender out of the gates, let them go and earn that a little bit more this year before we really set our expectations there. Do we want it? Sure. Are we genuinely expecting it? Maybe not right this second after that game, but they still won. They're going to be a factor down the stretch. This team is built, Zach, to be a factor down the stretch, especially if their young quarterback can get back to the form that we saw him basically October last season on.
The only problem I have with that is that Sean Payton is the one setting the expectations, though. The calls were coming from inside the house. He said they're capable of winning a Super Bowl and talking up Bo Nix. And that's where I feel I didn't get a chance to tell you this before we went live, Chad, but it was a win. But to the fans' perspective, it might as well have been a loss. There's that feeling like they lost the game, even though they won. They wanted a blowout. They wanted a no-doubt victory. And we warned it might not happen. But as long as they end up getting the W, that's what counts. And Deanna, thank you so much. Everything you're saying here, I agree with. We have to see how they adjust going forward. But if this is their worst game and they still won by 8, they're not all that bad then.
Hey, what do we say? You're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to. They did that. And when things don't go perfectly according to plan, and in fact, you don't turn in your best day, you still manage to come out on top. That's the mark of quality. So silver linings, guys. Let's keep our perspective on track here. Jess, great to see you, pal. Thank you for the super chat. Want to invite you to become a member. You're a bona fide longtime superstar. Become a member and get access to the Kelberman's Corner every Tuesday for members only, noon Mountain Time. Broncos Book Club, and more stuff coming on that front, by the way, guys. Broncos Book Club every Friday henceforth, noon Mountain Time. Thank goodness Zach just says that we have a great defense, 1-0. And let's keep in mind here, Zach, rookie quarterback. I was mostly impressed by Ward in the face of an unrelenting, smothering, physical, animalistic Broncos defense. But putting it in perspective, the Titans had exactly 133 total yards today, Zach. And they were sacked. What was the total? 6 times? Six sacks? Yeah, 6 sacks today.
They were every bit as elite as we thought they were. Rock Chalk, $20 super thank you. Fugly win, but somewhat expected week 1. The Broncos defense deserves a vast majority of the credit for getting the W. Offense was atrocious most of the game, but still did just enough. On to week 2, MHH for life, DB for life. Yeah, very well put. Can't really disagree.
Fugly, I haven't heard that one in a minute, dude. That brings me back to my youth, most definitely. Thank you, Rock Chalk. Yeah, the defense deserves a lot of the credit, but I'm also, look, maybe you guys don't want to hear this right now, but I'm going to also credit Sean Payton for once again pulling his head out, making the right second half adjustments, and doing what it took to win the game. Stoked on that.
Yep.
Okay. Michael Williams, how you doing over there on Facebook? Good to see you, buddy. Eric, thank you for the super chat, brother. Week 1, rusty. Exactly. We will need to be much better, that's for sure. San Diego put the division on notice. Yeah, the Chargers, man, they look like they're a thing, but the Broncos could still very well be a thing. A little bit of an ugly start, but you win ugly. Makes me happy.
Yeah, I don't see many Chiefs fans writing off the season because they lost in week 1. So it's very early, a lot of ball game left. The Broncos will be fine.
Hey, shout out Ricky Flores becoming a member. Welcome, big dog. Thank you. Riptide. Sean Payton is a clown, and we all know that. I don't think he's a clown, buddy. For what it's worth, I'm not just trying to be argumentative here with you, pal, because you're one of the dogs. You're one of our bros here. I don't think he's a clown. He can be a little bit mean to media types, a little bit snappy, but he's not a clown.
Hackett was a clown. Payton's not a clown.
Say it again.
Hackett's a clown. McDaniels is a clown. Sean Payton's not a clown.
Well said. Duchess jumping in again. We love you. Thank you so much, Michaela. Seriously, love you so much. She says, I think the O-line needs to be better. That's for sure. Hopefully the next game is better. It's a marathon. It is, not a sprint. Excellent point on that front, Michaela. And those of you who jumped in on that halftime stream that I did, which again was totally impromptu, we'll probably be doing more of them. But nevertheless, I talked about how ugly the O-line was, especially in the first half. Because I mean, halftime, I'm talking about the first half, but now looking at it from the whole game, they did kind of get their act together in the second half, but not so much in pass protection. Let's be honest. Bo Nix rarely got the time he needed to deliver. He was running around a lot, but that was also, Zach, a very tough matchup. That Titans D-line is legit, and Jeffrey Simmons just showed you why he's one of the best interior defenders in the NFL of the past 10 years.
Yeah, but he ran his mouth, talked all that crap, and cost his team the game when it mattered most. So I thought that was a poetic irony there, Chad. Michaela, thank you so much. As always, you are the linchpin of this podcast from the community. We definitely appreciate it. And this offensive line issue, Chad, has been kind of a recurring theme. I hate to say it since preseason. We thought, okay, it'll get better. It'll get better. Week 1, they'll figure it out. They have to figure that out.
By the way, before we grab our dear, dear friend David Wilder, Riptide, becoming a member, dude. Love you, buddy. Thank you. And I am jealous of that beard. I wish I could grow. Mine's too splotchy on this side. You know, it's pretty splotchy on this side too, but I can't get that glorious beard. I got kind of gypped in the hair genes department, you know, which is crazy because my dad is like basically almost 70. Every hair still on his head. Glorious beard. I mean, what? Come on, Mark. What the heck? David Wilder's been with us a long time. He's rocking the MHH t-shirt in his YouTube profile pic because he is part of the fam here. Great to see you. Thank you for also becoming a member, David. He says, good evening, Chad, Zach, and Broncos fam. I'm glad we won, but the offense needs to be sharper. Broncos for life, MHH for life. Amen to that. And yes, the offense really does need to pull its head out. But I think when you go, Zach, you know, forward in time, even a quarter of the season, and look back, this Titans defense is going to be viewed as a pretty tough nut to crack. So you got to keep that in mind. Yes, underwhelming overall as a team. You're not really losing sleep over the Tennessee Titans, but that defense is pretty good. We saw that today. Fox Family Breaks, great to see you. Thank you, defense. Lots to work on, but glad to have the turnover game out of the way, hopefully. Great to see you, buddy. Hope you've been well. And that's a good point, Zach. Bo Nix, it's one of the things Sean Payton coveted in him as a prospect. One of the things he was proudest of in him as a rookie last year was the protecting of the ball. And today he threw 2 picks and lost a fumble.
Yeah, hopefully, like you're saying, Fox Family, thank you for the super. They're getting it out of the way early. And again, if this is the worst the Broncos are going to look all season with an 8-point win, they're going to be in good hands. So a lot to work on for sure, but we're also happy they're 1-0 around here.
Marcus also becoming a member, dude. Welcome. Thank you. And there's Riptide right there. Heck yeah. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Brother, Chris Hernandez in the hizzy. OG, like literally his YouTube profile pic. He's rocking the MHH face mask from back in the 2020 season when that was a 20 and 2021 when face masks and whatnot. We all remember why that was a thing. And his vintage, Zach, your word, his vintage Huddle Up podcast mug in the profile pic, legend. His tradition as a phenomenal member of this community and supporter is game day gut reactions. He's there without fail. Always throws down a super chat, and it is always the exact same number of points that the Broncos scored on the day. So thank you, Chris, for the $20 super chat. He says the defense picked up where they left off last year. That was great to see, and they won. I expect the offense to knock the rust off and get back to doing what they do. Much love. 20 points times 1 win. Oh, yeah, I forgot times the thing. That's interesting. Oh, and I almost forgot with the second super chat. Click those little thumbs up, brother. Thank you. Guys, we got hundreds of you in the room. Please hit the thumbs up while you're in here with us. Helps us out a ton. Takes you 2 milliseconds. Really easy. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, brother. Zach, Naj in the house. You grab this one from Naj.
Yeah, thank you, Naj. Hey, brothers, great win. I did not believe we would win this one. This is one based on the setup, but we did, and that's huge, especially with 4 turnovers. Need more running game, please, and special teams were bad. D and Titans penalties, huge. Yeah, the Titans being a young team with a rookie quarterback, they sank themselves for the most part with penalties and costly negative plays here and there, and the Broncos took advantage because they are a better team. But what I was going to say to Chris is what I'll say to you, Naj. We have the best fan base in the entire world because they realize the Broncos might have won in today's game, but they did not look their best. And that is a scary proposition, Chad, when the Broncos are going to play 4 quarters of their best football, and that's coming up soon.
Well said. Well said. And when you think about also, Naj, the 2 failed 4th down attempts, 6 turnovers, because you got to factor those in on downs. I don't think it'll get statistically go down in history that way, but they gave them 6 possessions, right? Like, so they found a way. Great to see you, Naj, and thank you for that measured perspective. It wasn't looking good for a second there. I started going, man, when Mims fumbled in the second half, that punt, I was like, all right, engage worst case scenario, which in that moment, that was literally the worst case scenario, which is what I meant. But the Broncos defense rebounded, boom, 2 big sacks. Who was it? Jonah Ellis and Zach Allen knocked him out of field goal range. I mean, that's called complimentary football, Zach.
Jonah Ellis is such a beast, man. And we've been singing his praises since preseason. He is going to be a stud.
Cody jumping in again. In case you guys missed it, Evan Ingram left with a calf injury, did not return. I'm checking my timeline real quick because we're live. We're not in on the post game presser, so I'm not sure if I'm sure Sean Payton basically said, we're still evaluating that. Don't ever ask me about it again. I know where you live, these kind of things, right? But to my knowledge, no specific update yet. We'll double check it when we get off, and of course, we'll be reporting on that at milehighhuddle.com. So keep it locked with us.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, Ingram had his helmet with him on the sideline, though, and he was standing around. So I don't know, Chad. I feel like if it was more severe, he would have been in the back. He wouldn't have been on the sideline. Hopefully, good news is coming, Cody. We'll keep you updated.
George Fox, good to see you, my brother. We saw you during the halftime stream. We're seeing you here tonight. Thank you for the stars and being the just awesome supporter that you are. Much love, brother. Derek says, real quick, Bo Nix redeemed himself in the late 3rd quarter, played bad in the first half, best defense in the NFL. I don't know. I wouldn't say that Bo quite fully redeemed himself in the second half. Like, his best play was that touchdown to Cortland. What would you say, Zach? Let's do a little up down, whatever you want to call it, stock report, winners, losers, however you want to say it. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm just going to go down the list. You ready? We'll do the key guys.
Yep.
Up or down, RJ Harvey?
Up.
J.K. Dobbins?
Up.
Bo Nix?
Down.
Cortland Sutton?
Up.
Troy Franklin?
Up.
Evan Ingram?
I got to be down with the injury.
Tyler Bidet?
Down. That connection's so bad.
Marvin Mims?
Down.
I think that's pretty much. I mean, Lucas Kroll getting the talking to by Bo for that one connection. I don't know, but let me go to defense real quick. Okay, I mean it's going to be pretty obvious here, but Talanoa Hufanga leads the team, 10 tackles, up or down.
Yeah, plus he had that forced fumble up.
And that's right. Thank you for that reminder. And surprise, surprise, if you guys can recall, before he got hurt last year down the stretch, do you know who was the second leader in tackles? This man right here, who also finished second on the team today, shocker, in tackles, Riley Moss. Zach.
Oh, he's your spirit animal, Chad, up all the way.
Brandon Jones. I mean, everybody's up on defense.
Yeah.
Is there someone you can think of on defense that is not up? I mean, that was a phenomenal performance, right? So the offense needs to punch in. And by the way, for what it's worth, stoked to see Jeremy Crawshaw looked like an NFL punter, pinned him a couple times inside the 10. Jack Zebo down in Oz. Good to see Zebo, dude. How are you, Jack? Where you been, big dog? We've kept the campfire burning for you. Let not your heart be troubled. We've been here. Great to see you. G'day, gang. Melbourne, Australia here. Denver defense is back again. The offense needs a bit more time to catch up, but not panicking. Hashtag Super Bowl bound. Do not panic, guys. Do not panic. I mean, the one of the best things, and I don't mean to trigger Riptide on this because he's still kind of seeing red a little bit, but the one thing that gives me confidence relative to Bo Nix, for those of you going, what's up with Bo? Sean Payton, the presence of Sean Payton. And there have been some new wrinkles here. Let's not forget, Zach, how much it played a role in today. We don't know. But Davis Webb being the pass game coordinator. Who was it? What's his name? I'm brain farting. The O-line coach.
Streif.
Zach Streif as the run game coordinator. Those are two new promotions on top of they kept their position coach responsibilities. So we'll see how that shakes out. Riptide, yards per play, Titans 2.4, Broncos 4.5. Thank you for that illustration, brother. Yeah, I mean, we can go through some more stats if you want, but overall, I mean, Cam Ward, first career start, he hung in there. His team, thanks to that defense, kept him in there till the very end. Zach, he passed for under 50% passing, 12 of 28, 112 yards, 54 rating. Was not picked off, but he did fumble at the end.
I thought he played pretty well, honestly, overall. I think he's going to have a bright future in the NFL.
I do too. He plays with stones, you know what I mean? Cojones. Yeah. Patriot Tex, my brother, great to see you.
Thank you, Tex.
And I hope you've been well. I want to invite you as well. Become a member on YouTube. We need you. We need you, bro. Can we stop all the Super Bowl hype now? Bo was terrible today. Payton was not good on anything other than the challenges, which, by the way, props to him. He was killing it on the challenges till that last one. But I think that last one with Cortland Sutton, Zach, he was like, I'm on a roll.
It's on a heater.
Is that you or me? Oh, that's me. I'm sorry, guys. Zach, grab this real quick.
Yeah, I've covered the NFL long enough now and the Broncos to say to you, Tex, that if the Broncos end up beating the Eagles, for example, or beating the Bengals in a few weeks, then the Super Bowl hype will be coming within the fan base again. For a game like this, when they won, even though they feel like they lost to some people, now we're saying stop the Super Bowl hype. It's just the way it goes. They should have been better, but it's the first week. They won by 8. They're 1-0. I'm not going to poo-poo it too much.
No, but hey, man, I think the Broncos, for what it's worth, yes, those refs were getting it pretty bad, especially early on with their spotting on, third down, whatever. But whoever's up in Sean Payton's ear telling him when to challenge and when not, that dude is seeing it kind of like the Dustin Hoffman character in Rain Man. Like, he's seeing levels beyond levels, the 4D chess. Like, keep that dude in the fold. William Shaw jumping in again. Thank you, brother. Stock down on the person getting plays in time. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we saw that as a little bit of a pickle in the preseason, Zach, and it continued into week 1.
Yeah, again, William, and you're right, but there's so much to be worked on coming out of week 1, and that's kind of how it should be. You don't want your team to be peaking in week 1 or looking totally complete, then it's all downhill from there. You want them to ideally win and still work the kinks out as you go along, and that's what the Broncos are going to do.
Malachi Smith in the hizzy. Great to see you. Hope you've been well. Welcome back. Become a member. Support the brand. Join the family. You're already part of the family, Malachi. You've been with us a long time, but I want to invite you. And if you want to become a member, guys, real simple. Just go to the homepage on YouTube of MHH. Click the join button. Bada bing, bada bang. Malachi, perfect weekend. KC loses. Mizzou beats KU. And the Broncos win. Loved seeing the run game get going. I know Zach, it feels like we're inching ever closer to that Bronco getting an individual 100-yard rushing game. How long has it been now? I mean, I don't even know.
3 years, 4 years? Latavius Murray was the last one. I don't know. I forget what year that was, but RJ Harvey seemed like he has the wiggle to get it done. He broke that 50-yard gainer off, and hopefully he'll get some more snaps as they go along. But that's the key, I think, Chad, and at least in the first quarter of the season, I won't even say half, is get the run game going, find out who's RB1, who's RB2, call up Jaleel if you have to. I mean, deactivating him for Bidet was not the right move today. Maybe going forward, bring him up. Whatever you have to do to get the running game going, get it working.
I'm seeing some spammers in the chat, but I think I just 86'd him. Yeah, that blew up in his face. I mean, I understand why. I think anyway, he went with Bidet. Bidet had momentum. McLaughlin missed the last game because he was welcoming his first child, I believe, into the world. But at least McLaughlin is reliable as a pass catcher. And we know, Zach, how much time, reps he put into improving over the last 2 years as a receiver. He even got a jugs machine for his garage at home. So while he's watching film or reruns or The Simpsons or whatever, he's just catching passes. And you left him as a healthy scratch. Bidet, by the way, that one bad drop that was a screen in the first quarter, that's a touchdown if he catches it. I mean, he had a freaking convoy out in front, and it was nothing but daylight. And he's like, Riptide. Here he's explaining what he meant by Payton being a clown. He acted like a clown when he didn't punt. Just my perspective. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was more of I think we got a way to kind of get a point or a touchdown here. I'm going to dial up this thing I've got up my sleeve. And worst case scenario, we don't get it. I trust my defense to get the stop. And if it was a 7-point game, I bet he doesn't. I bet he punts there. But because it would have required not only a touchdown, but the conversion as well, he's like, yeah, what the heck. I agree with you, though, at least, Riptide. I don't know about you, Zach, in the sense that it seemed a little unnecessarily reckless. Like, just punt the ball.
Yeah, I don't know that I would call it a clown so much as just overconfident or cocky or just Sean Payton being Sean Payton and thinking that he knows better and can do it. And it bites him in the behind a few times. But a clown would be not getting your play in time to where the crowd is counting down the play clock. I mean, we forgot how bad it used to be under Fangio and Hackett and McDaniels. Just be grateful for an 8-point win in week 1.
And like Dylan's saying here, very fortunate that Ridley bricked about 4 passes off his hands. Yeah, dude, they were living in his head rent free. Ben Roth, thank you for the super chat, big dog. Become a member. Join us. The offensive line and Bo must improve from here. There is no doubt. There's no doubt about that, my brother. Absolutely, those two facets have to improve, and they kind of go hand in hand. But Bo did not have much time. And they showed the stats. I forget, Zach, I think it was third quarter. And I don't recall exactly what the stats were, but it showed the difference, his efficiency as a passer when under pressure versus when not. And I mean, when he wasn't under pressure, he was the efficient Bo Nix that we expect.
Right.
Unfortunately, in this game, he was under pressure too often.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, Ben. The O-line and Bo, and collectively, but individually, it's not just one or the other. It's not black or white. It's gray. So everyone on the front five. I also noticed they were using Palcho a lot as a jumbo tight end, a 6 offensive lineman. Chad, they're trying new wrinkles. They also are trying out the new zone wide blocking schemes. This is still the offense, a work in progress. That's why they didn't come out like gangbusters in week 1.
David Wilder jumping in with super chat number 2 to say, I'm going to give props to our rookie punter. Yeah, Crawshaw, you know, he had us a little bit worried there for a moment, but he ended up as a punter totaling 48 gross, 44 net. The Titans had 49 gross, but only 41 net. So he did a good job. I'm proud of the rookie for easing some of those concerns and justifying the not only the draft pick, but the faith Sean Payton and Rizzy have espoused in him since the preseason.
Not to pat myself on the back too hard, but if you guys were tuned into Kelberman's Corner or subscribe to it, that was one of my bold predictions that Crawshaw would settle down and look much better than he did in the preseason. So anyone going forward, Kelberman's Corner every Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday for members. Saints fan, welcome. Good to see you. Be grateful, Saints fan says on Super Chat. For Sean Payton, he made you guys good again. This is true, guys. What he's saying here, true. And the Titans' second best defense last year in yards per game. Give us Sean Payton back and go back to losing. See, I mean, let's keep things in perspective. Thank you for that, Saints fan. We appreciate the support. And by the way, I got to grab this from Gene William. Also, I had my Bridge the Gap tee under my jersey today. Maybe it's good luck. You know that was a big part of the equation, Gene. We're not superstitious around these parts, but like Michael Scott, we're a little stitious, just a little bit, right? At MHH. But Diego Alonso, give RJ the ball, man. Hey, thank you for that super chat, Diego. You're a prince. And become a member. Want to invite you. MBLEX throwing down a membership.
Thank you, Test Prep.
Lady D throwing down 10 memberships.
Thank you, Deanna.
You guys are awesome, and I'm sure the folks who received those memberships are stoked. Okay, where are we at time-wise? 49 minutes. We got to get going here pretty soon, y'all. So consider this the 2-minute warning. Get your burning questions, topics, super chats in. We will get them before we leave. The Dark Lord of the Sith, Jourdain Mall, jumping back in. What's the news on Greenlaw? I mean, news is didn't practice. They had 4 practices this week. They did practice Monday. The official practices were Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He was a DNP on all 3. And I think, Zach, if the Broncos were going, we can kind of afford to keep Dre, you could look out of the game, let him rest up you could look at it one of 2 ways. Either today was a wake-up call when they realized this was much closer than we probably wanted it to be. Let's go ahead and get our guy out there. Or, hey, they totally smothered the Titans all day long. Justin Sternad played well. Let him heal up. But if that's the case, maybe communicate it a little bit. Like, tell people a little bit, Sean. Like, he gets a little too absolute, Zach, and a little too, I will not say one word more about injuries than I'm utterly mandated to by the NFL. Well, guess what? You built Dre Greenlaw up into being this big thing. You
Right.
paid him a decent amount of money, Zach, in the offseason. And then you assured everybody he was going to be good to go for the season. So you kind of need to explain yourself so that God-fearing, fans like this who want to think the best can know what the score is on Dre Greenlaw. Plus, everyone's excited to see this guy, Zach.
I 100% agree with you, Chad. I think the fans have an obligation to know what's going on with their players. They pay money to go watch them and invest time and energy, and I get all that. We don't really know what's going to happen with him. I understand not wanting him to rush back that lower body injury, but Singleton was a liability out there today. I know Sternad played well. That's not going to last a whole season. They need their big free agent acquisition on the field. I don't know if you rush him for week 2, but that Colts offense with Danny Dimes and Jonathan Taylor is more of a problem than Tennessee was in week 1.
Dude, I watched that whole game today, and Daniel Jones just looks different. And Shane Steichen,
Coaching.
Great play calling today. They dominated the point of attack on offense. And that defense was, you want to talk about smothering. I mean, they almost pitched a shutout on the same Dolphins team, basically, Zach, that motorboated the Broncos 2 years ago. So, Claude Riley, good to see you, buddy. Water champ in the house. That defense, though, go Broncos, no doubt. Yeah, defense, baby. Love it. Thank you, Claude. Really appreciate you, buddy. Great to see you. We also have Eric Holt jumping in. Hey, guys, we did everything we could to give this game to the Titans. The Auburn version of Bo showed up today. But if we're going to get to the Super Bowl, we need Oregon Bo. Go Broncos. No, we need Bo rookie year October, November, Bo. That's what we need. I get what you're saying, though, Eric. And thank you for the super chat, brother. Become a member. I want to invite you. What do you make of his comment here, Zach, about it was the Auburn Bo? You know what I'm saying? Like the guy who burned out of his original dream college destination, and he had to go kind of redeem himself in Oregon.
I mean, I get the illusion he's trying to draw here, but every quarterback, Eric, has good and bad games. I mean, there's bad Mahomes, there's bad Josh Allen, bad Lamar, and there's bad Bo Nix, and it showed up today, and there's no two ways about it. Shouldn't have had 2 picks and a fumble, but here's the silver lining. Here's the takeaway for me anyway, that even when Auburn Bo or bad Bo shows up, the Broncos' talent around him, namely the defense, is so strong that the Broncos can win in spite of Bo Nix. They haven't had that ability, Chad, the last decade.
Bo will get right, guys. Trust. And also, for what it's worth, I like to see that fire in him today, not only directed at the Titans, which is where it needs to be, but you could just see him kind of like with Kroll, like, hey, dude, you're supposed to sit down in that situation, not keep, cut off your route, sit down, it was zone, etc. And he's like being more vocal and animated about it. And I like that. Riptide, did I get Cody? Nick showed fight, Bowles, Ben Powers. There it is. Ben Powers is the weak link. Agreed 100%, dude. 12-5 AFC West champs. Chargers are a threat. Amen to the Chargers thing. And I do still see the Broncos as a double-digit win team. Nothing really today changed my read and understanding of this team. If you had hopes that this was going to be a 30 points per game season and, bring it down a little bit. Cody Dubb, Nick showed fight. Bowles had to calm him down. Yeah, I think it was Miners, wasn't it, Zach? That was like, dude, chill. Jeffrey Simmons will eat you for lunch, dog.
But again, though, who was the one that blew the game in the end? Jeffrey Simmons. So it's the great irony there. And I love that Bo has that so much fire. I like that he's not a passive type B personality, Chad. I will say about him.
Yeah. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, guys, we're about out of time. So what we're going to do here, we're going to go through a couple of messages for you real quick. Don't leave, because then we're going to come back take a look at the chat. So here's the literal, like you're on the 1 yard line. Get it in now.
Tremendous gut reaction, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at Mile High Huddle. You can follow the pod at the MHH Pod, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out mhhmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Mile_High_Huddle. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, very important as always that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
Hey, before we dip on out of here, I want to grab some great comments from members. Like Todd saying, Bo Nix had a bad start to the season, responsible for 3 turnovers. The average yards per game was not good. However, I believe Bo will recover and learn from this. And then he said, we are not going to be in midseason form at the beginning of the season. That's okay. Winning ugly or winning pretty is still a win. Well said, bro. Honestly, well said. String guy, Roger saying, by the way, the Colts ripped the Finns 33-8. They won't be a pushover. No, they won't. Unfortunately, I saw that game, Zach. I don't know how much of that you caught, but they looked pretty dang good, did the Indianapolis Colts. Now, it was also, Zach, an emotional day because they were honoring the late Jim Irsay owner who passed away, and they were putting him up in the Ring of Fame and all that stuff. So who knows how much that played a role, but they were just really on top of stuff, executed well. They scored, Zach, on all 7 possessions, which was the first time that a team had scored on every possession they got since like the 90s or something, dude. It was something ridiculous. I forget the stat, but they're no joke. Broncos are going to have to come correct next week, and we'll talk more about that later in the week. But for now, guys, celebrate the win.
Well, no team is a pushover in the NFL. Every team has at least 1 star player. And if you start thinking, if you're a quote unquote better team, that you can waltz into a game and play half speed or assume you're going to win because you're better, that's how you lose. It's called playing down to your level of competition. And I think, Chad, for the most part, the Broncos, at least in the first half, did do that today. They cannot do that going forward in week 2 against the Colts.
No doubt. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate the message, guys. Please, before you dip, hit the like button. It helps us out so much. Hit that like button. But before we dip on out of here, a Mile High salute, a special shout out to the great Super Chat superstars, supporters on Facebook, and dear members helping us keep the lights on tonight, like Michaela Parker, like the Lady D, the ladies leading the way once again, David Youngkin, William Shaw, Adventure Soldier, Proud Zennial becoming a member, my dog, Ian, Ted Wonderlick, brother, great to see you. Inviting you, become a member. We need you. Diamond Rattler, legend. The Papa Bear, legend. D-Crom, chin up, buddy. It's going to get better, trust. Taylor Christensen. Did I already say Riptide? Riptide was on fire today. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Casey Nickel, great to see you, bro. Thank you. The Dark Lord of the Sith, Jordan Mall, Camden, Cody Dubb, Doc JC, Jess, Rock Chalk, dating ourselves with the fugly thing. I love that, dude. Ricky Flores becoming a member. Michaela, Eric, David Wilder, what's going on, bro? So good to see you. Fox Family Breaks, Chris Hernandez, dear friend, legend. Naj, dear friend, absolute legend. George Fox, Zebo. Let's see, Patriot Tex, Ben Roth, brother, become a member. We need you. Malachi Smith, Gene William, the Brace Girdles, shout out. Saints fan, thanks for popping in. Diego with some sage advice for Sean Payton. MBLEX dropping gifting a membership. Lady D gifting multiple memberships. Claude Riley, it was great to see you. Not sure if I did Eric Holt yet, but guys, love you, appreciate you. Zach and I are back tomorrow for the Aftermath episode, and you'll have a fresh episode of Broncos for Breakfast on the Bright. So we'll see what news comes, Zach, between now and tomorrow. We need some clarity, hopefully, on Evan Ingram.
Yeah, we'll see what happens between now and then, but we'll fill you all in on the Aftermath episode tomorrow night. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.